make some points which I put into the chat already. The first point, I think that I've been teaching and lecturing for many years in my past life. And what we tend to do there is there's very much a top-down sort of curriculum focus. You have to write the curriculum and then teach it. So you'd really go through A, B, C till Z, hopefully. And then you assume, I think, that people having done A to Z, that when there's a problem coming up, they'll use some of those letters. I'm not sure all of them. What I liked about the course is that you start from the challenge. And I think it's helped my thinking, and I hadn't really grasped that as much. And I think that's sort of what I would call a bottom-up approach, and where you would say, well, this is the challenge, and so you don't need to concentrate on A to Z, but you could take B, E, G, and H, if you see my point. So you can pull out the letters that you think are useful for you. And I think that's a very, very useful thing because it speeds everything up. You don't have to do 9 months before you can solve the challenge. You can start solving the challenge from day one, but you need to bring in some things you don't have. Right. So it's not, as you made the point, sometimes it's not 30 days, but it could be 180 days or whatever. You never know. It depends on the size of the challenge and what you want to achieve. But so I think the process is very, very good. And I think I learned a lot. I think the point has already been raised. You've got to get the right people around the table. Some people are closed to this, but if you get the right team together, you can do an amazing amount of things. And I think that came up from the 2 weeks, and we didn't know each other, but even then you could get a grasp that if you worked with everybody, you would get some insights from people. And I think that was very, very useful to show that if you get the right people, you can do a lot in a small time. The thing I'd come back to in a more sort of theoretical base is what I would call this sort of place-based learning. So it's sort of situated where you are in your context at the moment. And I think that's important. And I just want to go into some jargon, and apologies for that. But there is a sort of thing we call in Europe called smart specialization, which is regional development. And it fits into the water hub that we came up with the example of what is your specialization, what are your assets, what can you do better than anyone else. And to get that, there's a process that we've used in Europe called the entrepreneurial discovery process. And I put a link in the chat. And this EDP can be it's been a weakness of the theory, if you like. And what I see here very clearly is that strategic doing and performance challenge can be a methodology that can improve it. And I will certainly be pushing that in the next few months. So, and I've got a couple of presentations coming up. I've already using some of your thinking immediately in those presentations. And so I've said the proof will be in the pudding.